Christmas Eve, 1945. The Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, glowed with festive warmth, a stark contrast to the bitter winter night outside. George and Jennie Sodder, Italian immigrants who had built a life and a thriving trucking business in America, were enjoying the holidays with 9 of their 10 children. The youngest, Sylvia, was just 2 years old, while the eldest at home, Maurice, was 16. The children were excited, having been allowed to stay up late, playing with new toys and anticipating Christmas morning. George, tired from a long day, had sent them to bed around 10 p.m. But the peace of the night was shattered irrevocably just after 1 a.m. on Christmas Day. Jennie was woken by the smell of smoke and a loud thud on the roof. The Sodder home, their sanctuary, was engulfed in a raging inferno, threatening to consume everything and everyone inside. What followed was a desperate, chaotic, and ultimately tragic attempt to save their children, a night that would launch one of America's most enduring and heartbreaking unsolved mysteries. The fire spread with terrifying speed. George and Jennie, along with 4 of their children, Marion, Sylvia, John, and George Jr., managed to escape the burning house. However, 5 children, Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 10, Jennie, 8, and Betty, 5, were still trapped on the upper floor. George, with immense courage, tried to get back inside. He smashed a window, cutting his arm badly, but the flames and smoke were too intense. Desperate, he ran to get his trucks to climb to the second-story windows, but to his inexplicable horror, neither of his 2 coal trucks, which had been working perfectly the day before, would start. They simply would not turn over, as if sabotaged. Their neighbor, F.J. Morris, whose phone was conveniently dead, also proved unable to assist. The fire department, located just 2.5 miles away, was called, but a series of bizarre delays, a frantic phone call, followed by an operator unable to connect, and then a fire chief who lived outside town, meant they didn't arrive until 8 a.m., 7 hours after the fire started. By then, the Sodder home was nothing but smoldering ash, and the 5 children were presumed lost to the blaze. The initial investigation was shockingly brief and superficial. The local coroner quickly ruled the cause of death as asphyxiation from the fire, despite no remains of the 5 children being found. A death certificate was issued just 2 days later. This swift conclusion, however, completely ignored numerous perplexing details. The initial thud on the roof Jennie heard, followed by the sound of something rolling, suggested a possible incendiary device. George had recently had heated arguments with an insurance salesman who threatened that his house would go up in smoke and his children would be destroyed because of his anti-Mussolini sentiments. This man was later part of the coroner's jury that ruled the children died in the fire. Even more disturbing, a telephone repairman later found that the Sodders' telephone lines, which had gone dead before the fire, had been cut, not burned. These inconsistencies piled up, gnawing at George and Jennie, planting seeds of doubt that would never fully heal. The Sodder family refused to accept the official story. They were convinced their children had not perished in the fire. Their reasoning was chillingly logical. If 5 human bodies, even children, had been consumed by such a fire, There should have been some remains, bones, teeth, organs. Experts later confirmed that a fire of that intensity would have left behind bone fragments. Adding to their suspicion, the original fire chief claimed that a human heart could be completely burned in a fire, a statement later refuted by a pathologist. The complete absence of physical evidence of the children's deaths became the bedrock of their lifelong quest for answers, driving them to believe that the fire was a cover-up for a far more sinister plot. The Sodder family began their own relentless investigation. They erected a billboard on Route 16, offering a $5,000 reward, later increased to $10,000 for information leading to their children. They distributed flyers, hired private detectives, and never gave up. Over the years, countless tips and supposed sightings emerged, each one fueling a flicker of hope before often leading to dead ends. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence came years later. In 1968, Jennie Sodder received a photograph sent anonymously depicting a young man who bore an uncanny resemblance to her son, Louis, now a grown man. The photograph had a note on the back that read, "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, Elil Boys, A90132, or 35. This discovery revitalized their hope and convinced them that at least one of their children was still alive, living somewhere, perhaps unaware of his true identity. The theories surrounding the Sodder children's disappearance are numerous and deeply unsettling. Some believe the children were abducted by the Sicilian mafia, perhaps as retaliation for George's outspoken criticism of Mussolini and his strong anti-fascist views. George, a successful businessman, might have made enemies. The cut phone lines, the trucks that wouldn't start, the delayed fire department response, and the rapid, complete combustion of the house all point to a level of orchestration beyond a mere accident. The possibility that the children were taken, the fire set as a diversion, remains a chillingly plausible scenario for many. The family even received a letter from a woman in Florida claiming the children were being held in an orphanage and warned them not to publicize the matter. Each lead, no matter how tenuous, was pursued with agonizing hope. Another theory suggests the fire itself was merely a diversion for a kidnapping plot, perhaps not by the mafia, but by local criminals with a vendetta against George. The small-town dynamics of Fayetteville and the initial ineptitude of the official investigation could have provided the perfect cover for such an act. The lack of proper forensic procedures in 1945 meant crucial evidence might have been overlooked or destroyed. The fact that an entire house could be reduced to ash without leaving any trace of 5 human beings stretched credulity to its breaking point for anyone who looked closely at the facts. This deeply unsettling aspect has kept the case alive in the public consciousness, inviting generations of amateur sleuths to ponder what truly transpired that cold Christmas night. The Sodder family's tireless efforts to find their children continued for the rest of their lives. Jennie Sodder never stopped hoping, never stopped believing her children were out there. She maintained the billboard, keeping the memory of Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jennie Jr., and Betty alive for decades. The unresolved pain of their disappearance became a generational burden passed down through the surviving Sodder children. The photograph of the adult Louis, in particular, remained a powerful symbol of their conviction that a part of their family was still alive, lost somewhere in the world, unaware of the family who desperately sought them. This emotional depth is what makes the case resonate so strongly with anyone who hears their story.
The Sodder Children's case is a stark reminder of how deeply human resilience can intertwine with enduring mystery. It's a story that challenges our understanding of tragedy, loss, and the limits of investigation. Was it a complete accident that went horribly wrong due to a cascade of unfortunate events and delays? Or was it a meticulously planned abduction carried out under the cover of a devastating fire with sinister forces orchestrating the chaos? The evidence, or rather the lack thereof, points away from a simple fire accident, inviting us to delve deeper into the darker possibilities. The lack of closure has kept the case alive in the public eye, turning it into a cornerstone of American true crime lore.